Well, welcome to the Sovereign CEO podcast. I am Caleb Jones. This is Sovereign CEO. Location independent income, moving to a less bad country, or at least setting up an international backup plan and doing all of these things for very little money. Just so you know, I have another podcast for men called Alpha Male 2.0, where we talk about freedom-focused lifestyle design for men. If you have any interest in subscribing to that, because I do that once a week in addition to this podcast, that is over at alphamale20.com/podcast. And I'm on all the usual podcast platforms over there. Today, get a lot of questions about this, and this is an important topic, at least for me. Shortly, very shortly, matter of fact, likely by the time you see this video or watch this podcast, I will be celebrating my 2-year anniversary of living full-time in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. Even though I spent a lot of time prior to that here, sometimes weeks or months at a time. But I've been here 2 years now. And so some of you are wondering, Caleb, do you still like Dubai? Because one of the things that I got from some people in my audience when I moved to Dubai is, oh, Caleb's moving to Dubai. What an idiot. He doesn't know what he's doing. He'll hate it there. He'll hate it. And then once he realizes how horrible Dubai is and how great America is, he'll move back. Nope. As usual, I do what I promise. I'm pretty consistent about these things. I walk my own talk. Not only do I like Dubai more than when I first moved here. I like living here more than when I first moved here. So I'm here to stay, barring something unusual in the future that occurs externally to Dubai or geopolitics or what have you. But for the time being, I'm here. Very happy being here. And in this podcast, I'm going to discuss the negatives I've experienced of living in Dubai that I did not anticipate. And I'll also discuss some of the positives of living in Dubai that I did not anticipate. Now, I've done several videos on my YouTube channel on my impressions of living in Dubai and the pros and cons and things. I've done at least 3 of these videos now. In this video, I'm going to focus more on things that I know now only after living in Dubai full-time for 2 years. And specifically things I wasn't aware of. You know, there are things you won't encounter until you live somewhere for a while, right? You can't know everything. So these are things, for the most part, that I didn't know about. Good things and bad things. I always want to give you an objective, balanced view of these things. So I'm going to cover the good and the bad. So I'll cover the bad first, and I'll cover the good at the end. So bad first. What are some of the negatives that I did not anticipate? Well, here's probably the biggest one, or one of the biggest ones. The weather is worse than I anticipated. So what do I mean by that? It's very specific. So as I've mentioned in prior Dubai videos, in the summer months, that's summer of the Northern Hemisphere, so June, July, August, it is a nightmare in Dubai. It's like basically like living in hell. You don't even want to go outside. You can feel it in your throat. It's very, very hot. It is dry. It's a dry heat for most of the time, but by August, there's a little humidity that seeps in, so then it gets really bad. Not a lot of humidity, but enough where you can feel it. And it's pretty shitty. And last year in 2022, because of my scheduling of when I moved my wife here, my wife and I, for the most part, were pretty much stuck here during the summer months. And I figured I could just, power through it. And we did power through it, but it was bad. It sucks. You do not want to be in Dubai June, July, and August. You just don't. If you have to be here for business or something, I understand. There have been some weird scenarios where I had to be in Las Vegas during the summer months, which is pretty bad. So I get it. But it was worse than I anticipated. It's pretty bad. This year in 2023, I have already set up my travel schedule. I will be far away from Dubai the vast majority of those 3 months. I think I spend, for those 3 months, June, July, August, I will probably be in Dubai maybe a grand total of 10 days, if that. I will not be in Dubai because I don't want to be in Dubai. Ugh. The second thing is that the weather, it's not like at the end of August, suddenly the weather gets nice. You got to wait through, August, September, and even into October, and different years are different, where it's still pretty hot, still pretty uncomfortable. And then finally by November, things get good. And then right now, as I record this podcast in January/February 2023, it's amazing, it's wonderful, it's awesome. But the hot months are not just June, July, August. They're the months that buffer those. So April, May, September, October are also pretty hot. Now, the longer you live in Dubai, the more you become accustomed to these things. I am far more accustomed to the heat now than I was 2 years ago. That's absolutely true. When I go back and visit the Western world, much of which was well above the equator, especially where I go back in the Pacific Northwest or places like the UK, and I feel that cold, I'm like, ugh. So I'm actually becoming more accustomed to heat than cold, so that does help. And I'm sure I know this for a fact because I know a lot of people in Dubai here who have lived here 5 years plus, sometimes 10 years, sometimes 15 years. You just get accustomed to it. It's not that big of a deal. So I say this as still a partial Dubai newbie, but that is one of the negatives, is that I figured there'd be June, July, and August, and I'll just stay away in June, July, and August. The rest of the month will be perfect or pretty good. It's not exactly that simple. The weather is amazing in the winter. It is amazing here. It's amazing right now. I love it. I love going out at night. I love spending time outside during these months. It's fantastic. But during the summer months, it's awful. And the months above the summer, it's not awful, but it's hot. So that's the first negative. Second negative that I was not anticipating, and I should have, I didn't do research on this, is air quality. This is very closely related to the weather in the summer months. So in the months of June, July, and August, the air quality in Dubai, not only is it scorching hot and you want to kill yourself, the air quality is among the worst air in the world. It's comparable with like cities in China. It's really bad June, July, and August. Now the air cleans up. I'm not sure why this happens. I don't know the science behind this. The air quality during the winter months, like right now, is almost perfect. It's just as good as Portland, Oregon, where I used to live, where the air quality was perfect. So what I've done a long time ago, I downloaded an app on my phone called IQ Air. You can do that on your phone, and it actually gives you the air index rating, and I check it every morning, and I'm just aware of when the air quality is really, really shitty, and it's usually really, really shitty in the months that I don't plan on being here. So this is a mitigatable problem, but I'm just giving you the negatives. If you're here year-round and you stay here during the summer, you're going to be breathing some pretty shitty air. There were times during the summer where I actually would go outside and wear an N95 mask, not because of cerveza sickness of the pandemic, but just to protect myself from the disgusting air outside. I just kind of did that, and I tried to stay inside anyway during those months, but that's yet another reason why I have no intention of being in Dubai June, July, and August, because not only is it hot, air quality is pretty bad. Now, to that point, if you ever hear someone say, don't move to Dubai, the air quality is bad, it is only bad during those really bad hot months. During the winter, it's fine. The air quality right now is great, barring exceptions. So even in the winter, you'll have weird days where the air quality is not horrible, but not great. There might be a sandstorm or something, or I don't know. But now the good news about the air quality in Dubai, it's unlike other cities where if you look at the data, the negative air quality is due to particulate. It's not due to like carbon dioxide. It's strictly due to particulates. And so the good news behind that is particulates is the easiest thing to filter out with masks and or air filters. As always, I have 2 top-of-the-line air purifiers in my home. I've had this for years. They're called the Allen Breathe Smart ALEN. They're about $500 US. I have one in my office right over there, and I have one in my bedroom. And it's on 24/7. So when I'm in my office during the day, this is on. When I go upstairs to go to sleep, that's on. So I'm constantly breathing perfect air. So I do pay attention to this because I want to live a long time. I have lifestyle goals. I have longevity goals. So this is something I pay attention to. So this is an issue, but it's a mitigatable problem if you're a little flexible. Next problem in Dubai, and this actually isn't directly because of Dubai, it is indirectly because of Dubai, and that is that my wife, many of you know I am married, and I moved here in 2021 in February. My wife moved to Dubai a year later last summer, or actually last May, I should say. And the transition for her has been very difficult, to say the least. I like Dubai, and the things I don't like Dubai, I don't let bother me. She has a very different personality than I do, and she has very different needs than I do. So the transition for her to transition from the United States to Dubai has been very difficult for her, more difficult than her and I anticipated. Various things like she's an extrovert, so she needs friends. So she left her friends in the United States to come here in Dubai. She had to make a whole new set of friends, and that's hard for her because Pink Firefly, my wife, is not only an extrovert, but she's shy. She's a shy extrovert. Yes, they have those. And so she's not outgoing enough where it's easy for her to make friends. So run into that. All the logistical difference of like the currency and getting around and the traffic. She has a driver's license here. She has a car here now. The logistics of setting up bank accounts for her and driver's license for her and moving around. And this took a toll on her, which has taken a toll on our relationship. We've been together, we've been together 7 years. We've been married for 5. We've never had any problems. But in the last few months, to be honest and fair with you, we've had some. Nothing hugely major, I don't think, but we've had some issues. And it's all due to this transition she's going through moving to Dubai. Now, if you are single and you're not married and you plan on leaving the country before you get married or settle down with someone, you don't have to worry about this. I made the conscious decision, and I've done podcasts on this, that I wanted to settle down with someone and then move. I didn't want to move somewhere and then figure out or deal with the possibility of me getting settled down in that new country, because then I'd have to factor in how is the dating market in that new country. I didn't want that factor. So I decided when I pre-planned all this many years ago to get married, my version of married, OLTR marriage, go to Alpha Male 2.0 for details on that. My version of marriage, get that done and settle down and bring her to the new country. That made the most sense to me. And I still support that decision. I'm glad I made that decision. Dubai is not a great place to date. If you want to just get laid, sugar daddy stuff, pay for play, fine. But if you want to date, Dubai is not the place for that. There are many better countries than that. So I don't have to worry about that. But that is a negative I've encountered moving to Dubai. Hopefully, as time goes on, she'll be more acclimated. She is certainly more acclimated now that she's been here, 7 months than she was originally. So she doesn't hate it as much as she did, but she still is having trouble acclimating, and we're still working on that. The next negative, and this could be spun as a positive, is that real estate prices. Real estate prices in Dubai are a little expensive. Dubai is one of the fastest growing cities in the entire world. The city of Sharjah, which borders Dubai, it's like 25 minutes from my house here, is literally the 7th fastest growing city in the world. Dubai will double its population by 2040. I believe it's 2040. It might be 2030. I don't remember which one. But that has a direct effect upon real estate prices, which makes it a great place to invest. You want to buy real estate, man, come to Dubai and buy real estate here. Awesome. But if you're living in Dubai, especially if you're renting, because I am, I'll talk about why in a second, I didn't anticipate how expensive this would be. My wife and I live in a 4-bedroom house that is a decent house, not a huge house. It's smaller than the house we have in the United States, but it's 4 bedrooms. It's in a nice neighborhood. It's in a gated community. I pay $9,000 a month USD in rent here. Little spending, and that's going to go up every year as more and more people move to Dubai. So that's an expense item for me. Well, Caleb, why don't you buy real estate and cash in on Dubai's growth? Because of 5 Flags rules. And one of the rules of 5 Flags is you do not own any assets where you live. I don't want to own real estate in the United Arab Emirates because I live here. I want my assets to be outside of this country. I want to be internationally diversified. I don't want to rely on any one country for anything long-term that includes assets. So now I have checking accounts here. I have transitory assets here, but I don't want to start building a real estate empire in Dubai if I lived in Dubai. Now, if I lived in Paraguay, then I would invest in Dubai. Oh my God, in a heartbeat. Yes. And so that might be an option for you. If you are a 5 Flags guy, you have some money to invest, and you don't want to move to Dubai, check out the real estate here. Booming. All right, I'm going to switch gears now and talk about the positives of living in Dubai that I did not anticipate. Now, there are many, 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 many positives of living in Dubai that I did anticipate and I did experience. The amount of taxes I pay is minuscule. It's awesome. It's the main reason I moved here. Oh, it's so nice. Don't have to worry about taxes. Cover that in a little bit. So there are lots of positives to Dubai that I knew would happen, and I was right about all of them. Good. I'm talking about the positives now that I didn't anticipate. And number one on that is it is very motivational as a business owner to live in Dubai. There is a very strong business vibe here. Everybody here, or at least all the Westerners here, are very business motivated. Everyone here are business owners. Not everyone, I'm exaggerating, but a strong percentage of the Westerners who move to Dubai, and as I've said, 91% of people who live in Dubai are not from Dubai, they're from other countries. I'm in that 91%. The vast majority of the Westerners who live here have their own companies. They're very entrepreneurial, they're very hardworking, they're very motivated, and they're very excited about what they're doing. This is the exact opposite of the collapsing USA and cuckoo Canada and suicidal Europe, where most of those people are pissed off, angry employees, and they're basically quasi-socialists. It is the opposite here in Dubai. And it is so fun and it is so motivating to be around people constantly who are talking about business, 5 Flags, making money, how can I sell, how can I market, business ideas, new business models I've seen here. It's just awesome. People you wouldn't even expect. Pink Firefly and I just met a guy who lives several blocks down from where we live in our neighborhood here. He's an American. I was shocked. Another American? Oh my God, very few Americans here. And he had a wife and 2 kids, or wife and 1 kid. No, wife and 2 kids. And he's total 5 Flags. Immediately, him and I started talking about passports and residencies and where do you base this business? Why base my business here? It's so fun to talk about people who are like me, because virtually no one is like me in the fucking collapsing United States. They're the opposites. One of the reasons I fucking left. So it's very motivational, and it gives you this motivational push to accomplish your own goals when everyone is on the same page as you. It's really, really good here for business owners. Now, if you're an employee, you're going to fucking hate it here. And I've already addressed that in other videos. Well, they treat employees like shit. They keep their passports. They don't do that anymore. It was a long time ago. But, and they have no rights. And yeah, this is not a place for employees. But if you have your own business, which you should, sovereign CEO means you have your own business. Don't have a fucking job. Jobs are for losers. Jobs will destroy you in the collapsing Western world. If you have your own business, Dubai is the shit, assuming you are of higher income and you like Dubai and all those other factors. But that's one of the big positives I did not anticipate. Second thing is something that is very similar to this. It is very, very motivational in a positive way to be around massive amounts of money at all times. When you live in Dubai, you are around not money, but massive amounts of money. There is a house that is 3 houses down the street from us, where in the garage is always a Lamborghini and a Bentley, a fucking Bentley. And that is typical. In every parking lot in Dubai, you'll see Lamborghini, Bugatti, Bentley, Maserati, Bentley, high-end Mercedes. It's crazy to be around the money here, and it's motivational. It's like, this is cool. I would rather be around wealthy people who have money than angry people looking for a stimmy check, which is what you have in the United States. Now, yes, you can get into, well, that's because of oil, or that's because of this, or that's because of that. There's a percentage of wealthy people who are wealthy here because of the oil. But the vast majority of people, let me say it again, 91% of people in Dubai are not Arabs. So the people coming here are people who are entrepreneurs, business owners. Many of them have money. And going back to that, when I talk about entrepreneurs, I'm talking about anybody, including like the women who come here. Won't talk a lot about that because that's more of a topic on my other channel. But women who are here, you start talking to women and they're like, oh yeah, I have this business, I have that business. Even if they're like Instagram OnlyFans chicks. I have this OnlyFans income stream, I have this Instagram income stream, I'm working on this, I'm doing this crypto thing. Everybody here is motivated around business and money. If that sounds like hell to you because you hate rich people or you're more of a left-wing person or whatever reason you have, great. Please don't move to Dubai. Go to Paraguay or Thailand or one of those places, which are also good. I'm just saying this is really motivational for me. The next positive that I did not anticipate is, how do I say this? It's the cleanliness. I knew Dubai was a clean city, but I had no idea. After living here 2 years, you have this feeling of stress that lifts off your shoulders when you live in a place with no homeless people, no trash on the streets, no graffiti, no rundown, disgusting buildings. You don't see any of that in Dubai, with extreme rare exceptions if you go to the worst parts of town. And even in the worst parts of town, you don't see this kind of stuff. It's just not in their culture. And yes, it's a quasi-authoritarian government. You have that too. But my point is, when you live in the environment where you don't see any of that crap, you'll notice that you're more relaxed. And you can't really experience this until you do it yourself. You need to leave a collapsing Western city with homeless people and trash and crime and graffiti. Europe, United States, Canada, ring a bell? Yeah. When you leave and then you spend several months in a city that doesn't have any of that, where all the buildings are clean. The buildings, almost all of them for the most part, are new. There is no trash. There is no homeless people. There's no graffiti. There's none of this crap. It's not that I'm picky about this stuff because I don't care. I'm not going to, I don't care if there's trash. But you will notice that there's just this, this is nice. There's a stress that you have on your shoulders right now. If you live in the collapsing Western world and you're just used to seeing this garbage all the fucking time, there's a stress that you're carrying around because of that. You might not even be aware of it because you become so accustomed to it. And that's one of the biggest reasons why people don't leave, is they get accustomed to the stress. That just lifts off your shoulders when you live in a place that's nice and clean. Also, the beach. I live on the beach, not literally, but the beach is right there. We spent a whole Christmas Day, Christmas Eve at the beach. It was awesome. We were just at the beach all day last weekend. It's awesome. During winter, while every United States is being stormed out, it's raining and windy and floods and all this crap, we're on the beach and the beaches are clean. The beaches are pristine. The water is perfect. It's just great. And so it's an emotional component that I didn't plan on. It's very nice. The next positive I didn't anticipate is that there are lots of very physically fit people in Dubai. I kind of knew that before I moved here. I was aware of that, but again, it's kind of the same thing about being around motivated business people. When you're around people all day who look fucking good, there are guys who are fucking ripped. Guys are in good shape. Guys are ripped. There are some fat people here, but it's unusual. Fat people do exist in Dubai. That does happen here, but it's nothing compared to the United States or even Canada or Europe. It's night and day. And one of the big reasons why I think subconsciously that I made the big decision to hire personal trainers last year and to really get back into weightlifting. And Pink Firefly has done the same. Pink Firefly's lost some weight. She almost has a six-pack now. We're both getting really healthy and really physically fit. And A, because we want to, but B, it's because we're in an environment where people do that. People take care of their bodies here. It's kind of nice. It is so different from living, especially on the West Coast of the United States, but just about anywhere in the United States. Last thing is, and this is another thing that will be a little hard to explain, I'll do my best, is of course, I moved to Dubai for tax reasons. That's the primary reason I left the collapse of the United States. Taxes, taxes, taxes. And yes, I save a lot of money in taxes now. The emotional component of not having to worry about taxes is so wonderful for me that it's hard to describe in words. Now, if you don't make a lot of money, you will not relate to this at all, okay? You guys who make higher incomes, 6-figure, 7-figure incomes, and you live in the Western world, and you're writing these huge fucking checks to the IRS, so the IRS can just take them and go bomb some country or bail out some banker or give it to a bunch of people who haven't worked in 4 or 5 years, and you're like, what the fuck? All of that internal stress and internal burden is just gone. I really felt this for the first time last year, after my second year in Dubai, when I'm like, but I don't have to worry about that anymore. But oh wait, I don't pay taxes on that anymore. I just have to worry about this. I'm recording this video in January 2023. And so we're in the process of doing the year-end stuff for the prior year, 2022. And normally I'd have this big tax plan. Okay, how much am I gonna owe? And where do I come up with the money? And what account do I pull it from? And what changes can we make to, I don't have to do any of that anymore. Yes, there's some accounting for taxes. Yes, I still do tax planning, but it is so much easier now, even with my relatively complex 5-flag structures. What I'm saying is the emotional component, and I keep coming back to that, don't I? The emotional component of not having this burden of, I don't have to write a check to the IRS for $58,000. I can just keep the money. Oh my gosh, that's so nice to not have to worry about this function in my business. I have to pay attention to it. I don't have to worry about it. And I have spent the last 25 years of my life as a business owner worrying about taxes because I lived in the collapsing USA, one of the highest taxed nations in the history of the world. And now I live in Dubai where there's virtually no taxes anywhere, barring a VAT and some fees, and that's it. Whew, it's nice. So it's not just about saving money in taxes. For you, and those of you who already made this change, I had some other people tell me this. I had some other people explain this to me before I moved out of the United States, and how they said, Caleb, you don't realize how much happier you'll be once you're out and settled in your new place and you have all these burdens that aren't there anymore. You don't realize how emotionally happy you'll be. And they would try to explain to me, I go, yeah, whatever. I'm just here to save taxes now. Whatever. Now I understand this. I get this completely. There's an emotional component that is very hard to articulate into words when you make these changes. It's not just, yes, I'm saving a lot of money on taxes, and I am, and it's awesome, but it's also how much better I feel. And I was already very happy in the United States. One of the happiest guys I know. I was already happy. Now I'm happier in terms of these things in my life. So that's it. Those are my initial thoughts regarding 2 years in Dubai. Maybe I'll do a regular update every, maybe 6 months, every year, do a regular update. How do I feel about Dubai and what have I learned and things like that. A lot of you guys have questions about this. Also, a lot of you guys have asked for more Dubai content, and I've been telling you it's been coming, and I haven't done it yet. So there are things in the works right now where I'm gonna give you a lot more Dubai content, both YouTube and on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram, link below in the descriptions of this podcast. And that'll be coming soon. I will see you next week for the next podcast. Have fun. Bye.